Dr. T.P. Sashish Kumar is also spent 2 decades as a scientist in the space department. He's also worked as director of the UGC Academic Staff College before becoming a deputy director at the Cabinet Secretary General of Security in New Delhi. We are very privileged to have you, sir.
Namaskaram. I am only seeing what's your name. You said your name is not displayed.
My name is Shweta, sir.
No, sir. I am Dr. TPS.
Yes. We request all the principals and teachers to note down the questions if they have any, so that we can address them at the end of the session.
Sweta, I like this session to be an interactive, so there is no end of the session.
Okay, all right. So we can have an interactive session.
Session is ended already. Saeed Sab is joining.
Yes, sir, he will be joining.
Sweta is from which place?
I am from Bangalore itself, so Bangalore, India.
So Kannadiga.
Not a proper Karnataka, but yes.
Yeah, this is one problem where I can start probably. Now 2-3 times I told don't call me sir, Dr. TPS only.
Dr. TPS.
But again Shweta was calling sir, sir, sir. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, Dr. TPS.
Again, this is the problem. So I made my policy very clear. Don't call me sir. But what Shweta is doing is
Dr. TPS.
what you have been in practice.
Yes, sir.
Again,
Yes.
sir. Understood?
Yes. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. You have to be conscious.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, again, sir.
Yes, Dr. TPS.
This is one problem most of the academicians have. Many other jobs, one instruction is good enough to follow. You don't have to repeatedly do it. In academics, it needs to be repeatedly do it. I don't think people will come on display because webinar is a good hiding place. Correct. I have stopped giving webinar just because of my relationship with Said, who hosted me in Doha for 3-4 days in his school. Many years back, I addressed almost all the students there. I had a teacher's workshop program. Sweta, now you are in academics, right?
Yes, Dr. TPS.
Wonderful. See the change. I was in JAIN International School, which is also your own same management, few years back. I'll tell you, when I went to Said Sab's school, I'm connecting what is JAIN and what is Said's connection to me from Doha. I went for a workshop in Doha. I was there for 2-3 days. So I knew few Keralites. I am from Kerala, though I educated in Bangalore. Now, PhD matter of the Bangalore University. So I had a radio program for which somebody took me there. We became friends. Her son was a student in Jain school. And he was definite that he is going to fail in 12th class. What has happened? Probably he will pass, but that's a different matter. Now autonomous, private, all that can make everybody to pass in this world. Education has lost its value. This person came and spent few days with me. I never taught him economics. We had a lot of fun, 10 days of workshop, residential program which you are mentioning, which happens cross border from Karnataka to Kerala. You just cross Coorg and then travel another 30-40 kilometers, you are in my village. He stayed with me. We had fun. We had poetry writing. We had music, drama, so many things. But in between, some messages were told that, yeah, life is important. If you pass this, you will go for higher education in the highest place in the world. He passed with high marks, unexpected by all his teachers. It was a great surprise. I was called as a chief guest for the annual day, graduation day. I was there 3-4 days in JAIN International School. So sometimes what happens is, what you teach for long years doesn't matter. Triggering and motivating them to become good. I'm only talking to Sweta, nobody else here now for me. Okay, I don't have any faith in such people who don't even show their faces. I joined at 8 o'clock because the message says 8 o'clock. Generally, if there is a program, philosophy conference or something, if I join, immediately somebody will show face. Samia Begum showed face 2-3 times. I tried opening, by the time she disappeared. I couldn't speak to her. Otherwise, that's a time when you can interact. Yeah, Said Saab is up. I finished your story now.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, again, I don't correct Said. He is calling me sir only, I am agreeing. Because he is too old for corrections, right? But I don't
Yes,
live.
sir.
Yes, sir, you see. Soumya, I will
Sir,
not.
you are my mentor always.
But I told don't call me sir. If you have looked at one of my video, this is also I'm going to post. So it will be there. No sir for me. Sir is a title which is given by Britishers.
Sir.
Sir Isaac Newton, Sir C.V. Raman.
Evening, Dr. TPS.
Yeah, Sir C.V. Raman, Sir Isaac Newton, all of them were sir. We have been continuing this Madam Sir business. And we call it international standard. Actually, I had a program last week. Every
Dr. TPS.
Yeah. Every week I used to have a program with somebody from US. She will left right bang you if you call madam. So people don't like being called madam, sir. Name is more important. Said Sahib is much more important. Otherwise, sir is a very common, right? So you must call by name. Call by name. So why I am saying is, people get habituated to the same thing which never changes. I know I am seeing Ritu, Mathur. Yeah, anybody could give me answers. I am asking some questions to you now. It's not to test your knowledge. It is only to test me to.
Yeah, good evening, Doctor DrTPS.
Namaste. Now let me ask you. Do you know the first Education Commission came which year? Okay, I will answer it is 1948-49 time. And who was the most best contributor for that? That was Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. I had a radio talk which was recorded, which is available on internet, YouTube if you look at it. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan's declaration on education when he was a guest in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. It's a beautiful talk recorded by All India Radio. He describes so much about how education has to be. Subsequently, there were Secondary Education Commission which came in 52 to 53. Education Commission, the year in which I took birth, 64-66. That was one of the most famous, which is called the Kothari Commission. Even when I was part of academics, after 40 years also we refer to Kothari Commission. Okay, I can give a history of it. Forget about all that. Do you know when is this Kasturi Rangan, who happens to be the chairman of ISRO, when did he start this job of, which we call it as NEP, New Education Policy? Anybody? Because there have been many seminars. If you look at DrTPS NEP, you will see a lot of seminars. At least 50 of them I have posted it on my YouTube. If you want, you can look at it. I want this to be entirely different because I am talking to a different community where the theme itself is slightly different. Practicability. I gave the same lecture with the practicability. Early childhood also I gave a different lecture earlier. Yeah, anybody? Again, no idea. You are all the role players. You are all the controlling authorities of this commission. What is going to happen? It's 2015. 2015 to 19, 4 years, with a lot of consultation with thousands and thousands of places, with thousands of people, millions of people participated in making this policy. Now in 2023, after 8 years, we are still discussing. Can you imagine the failure? Number one. Number two, when I described Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan's policy in one of the lectures, you can look at it, which happened in Kottayam CMS College, one of the oldest colleges in Kerala. I was a speaker, and I gave a talk which explained what is NEP's credibility and what is that great change it is going to give it to us. I explained it thoroughly. At the end, the organizers thankfully congratulated me and then said, "Great job, Dr. TPS. You have comprehensively explained NEP." But then I asked them to stop, and then I said, I never spoke about NEP at all. I was only speaking about what Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan's policy. So you can imagine, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, what he spoke is what is today coming as NEP. So there is nothing great. But why we feel always it is new, good, great? Yeah, because we forget things. University was a concept. The word itself says university. I am sure there will be multiple region people with different mother tongues here. Said Saab and Sweta both are Kannadigas. Partially. I am also from Kerala. What is in your language SCHOOL, school means? Somebody. In your language, whichever language you are into. I guess people have got access to unmute their
In Tamil also we can say, sir.
yeah, whichever language I said. No, sir.
Pallikudam.
Yeah, Deepak, show your face, yeah, if you are not too ugly. Yeah, in cinema theater, when the advertisement of hookah comes, we all close our eyes, right? Unbearable faces. Why Said Sab you are calling all the people with bad faces for the seminar? I love to see good, sparkling, wonderful, no?
Sir, all are having good faces only, sir.
But they are hiding. What is the purpose? Is
I
it?
don't know why they are hiding.
Yeah, maybe they have no permission. What is Pallikudam means in Tamil?
School.
No, what does it mean? Why that name came?
Pallikudam where children go to play.
Yep.
Study.
Yeah, why? Why that Pallikudam name came? That's what I'm asking. Palli means church, praying place. Correct? Pallikudam means where people can join for prayers. So, actually, Tamil, that is not the name. I will derive it with a few discussions. Think or maybe Google and find out. Maybe ask some elders. They will tell you a better definition. What is in Kannada or Sanskrit? Let us take Indian language traditional name of schools.
Gurukul.
That is too, yeah, Gurukul is a very specific place where teachers come to the, students come to the teacher's house. So Guru's Kulam. Kulam means house.
Pathshala.
Pathashala. Wonderful. So where the scholastic things happen, syllabus completion happens. Another name.
That's right.
Another name. We have different names. See, that will tell you how vast is the concept. You must learn devotion. You must be with the Guru. Right? You have to sit beside, not too many people. Everybody should have a mentor. That is Guru. Guru is a mentor actually. Yeah. Then you have to complete some syllabus. Next.
Palli means Padasalai.
Yeah, Padashalai, Pallikudam both finished. Next.
Vidyalaya.
Wonderful.
Vidyalaya.
Yeah, actually, originally,
Vidya.
I love you, Ritu Mathur, for this. Where are you from, Ritu Mathur?
From Delhi.
Delhi, yeah. Vidyalaya. Vidya is
Vidya.
two types. One is Savidya and Avidya. Two types of Vidyas are there. Savidya and Avidya. Both Vidya has to happen in the place where education happens. What is Savidya? Value education. You must know the world around which you are living. Up to which grade it happens. The whole school education up to 12th class can be divided into two. Where you know the life, where you learn abstract knowledge, which you have to build for higher education. So where is the barrier? Where is the division? Do you know? It's 7th class. Up to 7th class, if you look at syllabus, you will learn environment science, plants, animals, neighborhood. So many such topics will be there inside that. From 7th, when you pass to 8th class, then the subject becomes little, maths becomes not normal. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, it becomes little complex. So therefore, what happens to most of the teachers? Recently, I was attending one of the discussions of a e-classroom who claims that they have the highest knowledgeable people around them and all that. Somebody was telling trigonometry is useless. Kerala is supposed to be the highest education, in which the TV program Victor's channel says, one of the teachers says, trigonometry is useless. I am from space department. Day in and out, I see applications of the whole mathematics which is being done in classrooms. So if somebody says, why they say it is useless, then if it is useless, why are you teaching? So what is the purpose of education? The teacher should understand, oh, this education I am giving because it's a practical application. Number 2, I may not use that practical application, but I will make at least one of my student from my class, where there are 25 children, one of them is going to be a mathematician tomorrow. So where is the basic classes should happen? It should happen from 8th grade. You cannot teach MSc mathematics from 8th grade. I must make the base. To whom? Those people who go for higher education, PhD. Tomorrow they become a scientist. I don't know who has to be taught law. I don't know among these 25 students who are going to be legal experts. I don't know who is going to be a politician. I don't know who is going to be a doctor. So, the basic abstract structure of education is being given from 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. Abstract base is to be given. And what is my purpose of education? Is to teach them the basic concepts. That's it. Not preparing them for examination. Not completing the syllabus. Now today what happens in the classroom? Therefore what has happened? All the commissions which we look at it. I told you Kothari commission. And after that we had the education commission, which is under Kothari, was one of the most famous, which also emphasized the education system, the university education system, secondary education system. Then the national policy of education. When I was in 4th grade, in age 4, 1968. Then there is a constitution amendment on the education compulsory up to basic level, 7th class. That's because they have to learn life science, how to behave with the people. Savidya has to be learned. Abstract you can forget, but learn the civic sense. Then there was a national policy which is continuously mentioned in the new NEP, which is in 1986, Rajiv Gandhi's. By the time I did my masters. But if you look at 1986 86 to before that 68, 86, and now the Kasturiankans 2019. After 4 years, practicability we are discussing. Why is it happening? Because it's the same teachers, same management. Things may change, but it takes time unless people don't accept it. Central government will decide, state government will have a different decision. Where to implement what? Not understood perfectly. The new education policy talks about age 3 to grade 3, totally informal education. I don't know how many schools understood this. How to implement this? How do they get information? There are a lot of publishers of NCERT from Delhi. Cover page is only changed. Many booksellers will come. A lot of books are being sold. They decide what is to be taught. Government has no role. Ritu Mathur, do you work in Delhi or somewhere else?
I'm in Kuwait, sir.
Yeah, which school, Ritu?
Integrated Indian School.
You were there in the Riyadh Conference of Principals?
I was.
I was also there. I was there among people to meet and all that. I was in Kuwait. I don't know whether I came to your school.
No.
I visited 17 schools in Kuwait, all the CBSE schools. Most of them were teachers training program except in Carmel school. That was a students program. So each day one school I was going and teaching teachers. That is before NEP. Either NEP or not, I don't care. I look at yours is a CBSE school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
No, I'm sure Ritu Mathur knows it's not for testing, it is to make the participation. What is CBSE expansion?
Central Board of Secondary Education.
Yeah, but don't you see a lot of schools running LKG, nursery also say I am a CBSE school? I am not talking about higher secondary schools where they can keep a name. Even LKG, nursery schools also will write CBSE affiliated, CBSE approved. Are we not fooling the whole public? The CBSE starts only in 9th class registration. So until then the school can decide how the children have to be brought out to the world to know what the world is. But why are we not venturing? I've got a beautiful concept of, not now, 2005 I implemented in Kerala. Informal education for young children, age 3 to grade 3. There are no separate classrooms. It's called a Grandma Child Care Center. My trust is called Shiksha, Grandma Child Care Shiksha Gurukulam. Grandma Child Care, GCC, DrTPS. If you type, you will see what is the mechanism, principles. Hubli, today there was somebody who was very much interested in making it happen in Hubli, contacting me to say what I do in the classroom. We can do wonders. We can teach them in a different style. So I am coming to the practicability of how things can make happen. Let us go to little, my subject is mathematics, little higher class. This is 4 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet. I tapped it together to connect this with a nut and bolt. I made a square. Are you seeing this as a square? So is it easy for me to teach what is the perimeter of a square? Showing this, do I have to explain with theory or are they seeing it? And now let me take one scale from here, put them in sequence. I can only put 10 scales here because each one is 10 inch, 12 inch, whichever is the width. So it will multiply 1 feet by 1 feet, it will become 1 square feet. So the same perimeter, if I just tilt it like this and make a circle, it has got different shape, but it has got different volume. Now I can relate what is 4 feet and what is 2 pi r. Is it very close to that or slightly different? I can change this to show. I don't know how many teachers make some real working model like this. Does it cost anything? Only 4 scales and 3 nuts. This is what, if I have gifted to this to some of the schools when I visited Gulf. Yeah, it's wonderful, I'm using it. I said, have you done one extra than what I gave you? The idea is not to show this. The idea is to show you how creativity can make your class different. The idea of teaching my children are not to study the syllabus of maths, physics, chemistry, biology which I am teaching in the classroom. The idea is to make them capable of studying anything anytime. The idea of teaching somebody to ride a cycle is not to ride on the road where I am making them to learn. The idea of making somebody to swim in a swimming pool is not in lifetime they have to swim in the same swimming pool. In any water they must be able to swim. We have lost the objective and scope of education. So therefore, what is NEP? In one single sentence, NEP says, the quality of education is lost. That is why new NEP came. So there is nothing new. Quality has lost. Where quality has lost? So what is the method of making it practically implementable? You know what the Sustainable Development Goals, 2008 it came, 2015 to 30. 2015 to 30. After 8 years, we are still discussing about SDG. Many webinars, thanks to Professor COVID. Thanks to Professor COVID who gave a lot of webinars for people to celebrate. Nothing, I don't think anybody understood what does it mean. UNDP, whatever is told, exactly repeat it in SDG. The education was to all was given. Water to everybody was given. But now we feel the quality of water was bad. Education to everybody was given. Now we felt that the quality of education was bad. So what are we doing? In every classroom, I think teachers must understand I am doing a great job. I left my job to become a teacher. I left my job in Prime Minister's office, started teaching. My name is DrTPS, TP Shashikumar. TPS, teachers, parents, students. These are the 3 communities whom I speak. And I covered more than millions of them. Every day I get a lot of requirement. Today there was a requirement from Abu Dhabi. Oh, my student is going to fail in 11th standard and now 12th standard. This pre-test is happening. Terribly bad. You called me few months back. I told you make a group study. Yeah, but there is no time after tuitions. So why people go for tuitions? Why people subscribe to e-learning platforms? Because the teacher is not giving what they really wanted. I keep saying, I feed my child in my house, the breakfast is given. And immediately the child goes to a hotel and eats. What does it mean? Either my food is bad or I was not fed them sufficient, right? What will happen when they know that they have to go and eat their breakfast, they will not sumptuously eat because they know they are going to have another one. When they eat there, it will not have no taste because already they had half-filled tummy. In the classroom, they know they are going to attend tuition, they are going to attend e-learning. They have got everything on their fingertips. Yeah, why should I listen in the classroom? And what teachers do? They keep repeating 5 times, 6 times, same sentence. The other day, I posted an e-learning platform. What is happening in education? This week only, I think. Monday or Tuesday, I posted on my YouTube. What is happening in YouTube? Kerala is a God's own country. You know, the e-content learning keeps on repeating same thing 3 times, 4 times. Repetition is not what is to be done. I wrote a book on e-content development, e-webnet learning, published by Discovery Publishers from Delhi. I learned this technique of e-learning, adaptive learning from Delhi, 2005, 10 years back. Before the new education policy was thought about. 2015 it was thought about. After 18 years, if COVID was not there, I'm sure nobody would have been even ready to read this. And this talks about the advantage of supplementary education through international lectures. So I have a great program in which every teacher can become an international teacher. This was under the University Grants Commission. We have a consortium for educational communication. This was there, not now. E-learning, web platforms, TV programs, JNU campus, acceleration center. There was a consortium for education communication. So I learned from great stalwarts in education, including from MIT, how multimedia teaching can be in the classrooms. Now we are talking in the today's world, adaptive learning, AI based, augmented reality. All this was day in and out nearly 18 years back when I wrote this book. It's their part of this book. So what happens is, in education, we are not upgrading ourselves. We, in the sense, the teachers have to get upgraded, and they should have a great role to dictate the management, saying that we need this. They must be able to tell, I am going to make a different education system in my school. Come, if you are dare enough, I am going to show you how things have to happen. Otherwise, we are leading to a very bad state. We cannot have homeschooling like what Westerners have, because all parents are educated. They have got a different style of learning. I don't know how many of you have seen de-schooling, unschooling, the series which came into that YouTube also, you can check. I don't know how many of you have seen Quota Factory, Crash Course. This will really tell what is happening in education today. It has all become exam oriented. If everything happens in exam oriented, the quality of education has come down. That is why we are not able to generate great scientists. We are not able to generate great inventions. We have become copycats. I am not saying no disregard for those people who are all great in this country. But with this number of people into academics, if you don't correct now, up to 25 years, people get educated in India. And that population is nearly 23-24%. So if this 1/4 of this population is not given what is exactly to be given, we are doing a grave mistake. So I believe all teachers have to be not reproductive people. They have to be productive people. So what is that implementation possibility? I cannot tell, oh, you do this in the classroom, that becomes creative. No. I don't know whether you have seen the movie called Rakshasi. In Tamil, there was a beautiful movie called Rakshasi which came. In all the languages it came, right? A beautiful movie. How a principal can make a difference in a school. So we need leaders who are ready to take challenge, convince somebody. Today I was talking to somebody who was in a school as a principal. I gave a lot of programs, webinar like this. Came back to South India. Now my thinking for last few years, I am implementing it now. So there is nothing called NEP. Every teacher is creative. Every creative teacher is always thinking of creating their own schools with a difference. Why DrTPS is not able to do so far? Because I did not get a rich man. One. Number two, I don't want to get tied up in one place. Instead of that, I love to spread my message to different places so that I can motivate most of the other people. Right. So if you ask me subject wise, class wise, specific syllabus, I'll tell you how your class can be made entirely different. If that is what is being looked at. I don't know what sites are really require. If you want a comparison between what is happening across the globe, maybe a lot of people from India are traveling to both United States and in UK for a higher education. I'm sure our school education is not bad. If it is bad, they will not be able to get admissions there. So it's not that bad. We are really good, right? But the problem is that percentage of people who are migrating is very less. The rest of the people, I was also executive director of an engineering college. Out of the whole Indian engineers being produced, it's only 4% of them are useful. So out of 100, 4 BTechs are only being used. So you can imagine it's a great waste of money, waste of infrastructure. That is basically because we are not practical. In medical system, MBBS graduates are not that waste because the doctors are practitioners and those practitioners are the teachers. In engineering, what happens is engineers are not practitioners. They only learn theory class and then come. Theory class is not good enough. Practically you must do it. So what is my credibility of talking like this? I was a scientist for 20 years with a lot of academic passion. So I re-looked at all the syllabus what I have to check, how can I be slightly different and how education can be made into different style. So I have a small scale. Am I showing a small scale which is not totally opened? My wall is hitting there, so I hold it vertical. So I can still open it up like this. So it's reaching the top, roof now. You know, this is history scale. The whole history of world is put into a scale. So if I have this scale, I can teach the history class without even referring a book. This is a beautiful one which I loved it, the way in which it is made. But I made myself, I was preparing students for civil service. I made myself an Excel sheet in which the whole history of the world is put into one Excel sheet. What happened in India this year to this year, same time what happened in America. When Tagore was the poet here, who was the poet in America? Ask this question and fill up those gaps. I'm sure students should have these questions. What is lacking today? Students have no questions, teachers have no questions. We only make them to repeat what being taught, ask them to write an examination, and everybody is given with a certificate, yes, NEP certified school. They attended so many classes on NEP, they know NEP. But I don't know. I understood NEP in this style. This is what is practical NEP, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so let me open it up. I wanted this to be interactive, that's why when Sweta said, I ended up my session, but I'm sure people who don't know me don't know what to ask. So I think this gives an introduction for me to say what they could ask me. Yeah. Soumya, you have some questions? Ask Samya. You never expected this will be like this, right? I am not hearing.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, again, sir.
Am I audible, DrTPS?
Yeah, wonderful. Good girl. Yeah, tell me.
So I think ma'am is not answering, so we can continue.
I have nothing to say. If there are questions, I will. This is what the problem with the classrooms. No questions, we keep a blah blah blah. It becomes useless. So I don't want to make my classes useless. Not even here, everywhere it's like that. I only speak for some time, the rest of the time it's questions and answers. Soumya should
Sir,
have.
I have one question here.
Yeah,
So this now new NEP says 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4.
yeah.
Do you feel this will be very effective, or do you feel this will be again a experiment like CCE, what we were failed? So because we introduced CCE in CBSE system,
I know.
so people started telling it is continuously confusing every time.
Yeah,
CCE became like this, continuously confusing every time.
yeah.
So whether this will become like continuously confusing every time, or it will be worth the students are following this 5 plus 4, 3 plus 3 plus 4.
See, I keep saying now we have 5, the lower primary, early childhood education. Tell me, are there sufficient teachers equipped to understand this and to implement in the classrooms? We have not even trained them. We have not even produced teachers who are fit for teaching this. So what will happen? It is not going to get implemented. We have a group of teachers who wanted to have such training programs. I'm sure what happens is, unless we create a team of people who can make this happen in the classrooms. So if I can create, DrTPS can create 30 model schools. Now JAIN's has got a good number of schools with a great credibility. If one model school can be created in South India, one in North India, I'm sure that will become a training center for teachers.
Madam, Dr. Tabassum Dawoodi, please mute your mic, please. Unwanted noise is coming. If you want to talk, you can unmute.
So,
Yes, sir, you can continue, sir.
so if unless and until we create a model school to show that this is what is to be done, and that becomes a practical classroom where we can show, oh, this is what happens in my class and this is how it should be implemented, then it will happen. Otherwise, the flexibility, dropping and coming in, changing syllabus, 5 plus 3 informal Savidya and 3 plus 4 Avidya, abstract and advanced. This is what today also it is there. Only whether we are cutting it into pre-primary, upper primary, lower primary, higher education, secondary, higher secondary, name change only will happen. Ultimately, it doesn't make any difference.
So the only problem now all of us might be facing to implement CC is, I feel, it is my personal feeling,
Yeah,
is we need to equip teachers to go ahead and maintain entire things.
yeah,
That is means, see, for example, if a teacher is teaching in pre-KG or if you are taking in KG, kindergarten, so they should have at least Montessori training and along with the proper training, so such that they can do the best. And especially cognitive and metacognitive growths will happen during the early ages, as you have said already. So there we need proper input. What
Yeah.
do you say, sir?
that's true. See, where is it failing? Up to age 8, up to 9. That's what I say, age 3 to grade 3. That is up to 5. The basic 5 is that. I take it as 6 years, age 3 to grade 3. That grade is where the social skill development, psycho development, interpersonal relationship, creativity, craft, all this can be taught. Once that is taught, maths becomes simple for them. They learn from the practical world. If this cannot happen, the next 3, fine. But after that, 3 plus 4 becomes too tough for them. So the base is the first 5 and the next 3. What you see even for a national eligibility test for teachers, UGC, I've got a book on civil service prelims handbook. So if you look at it here, I say 7th grade onwards the syllabus. That is the last 3 plus 4. So if the base is not clear, the grade 7 onwards becomes so tough for them. So last 3 plus 4 becomes a failure. So this base is what is required for even for every competitive exam in the world. Logical reasoning, analytical skill, quantitative analysis, all these have to be turned. Comprehension. If I cannot explain what I have seen on the road while coming from home to school today, I cannot make that paragraph. If I know how to speak, when I learn how to write, I will write it. So this has to be a practical world in which people are trained to do this every day.
But sir, actually, if you see, unfortunately nowadays, unfortunately not nowadays, from many years. So when children are admitted to lower grades, especially in KGs and all, so they have been taught to go for alphabets. When we teach them alphabets, generally we tell A for apple, B for baby, B for ball, etc., etc. When teacher teaches and she will, rather than making the student understand what exactly is apple is, will make the rote learning as a practice. A for apple. So next day for the same child, if you tell A for aeroplane, the child will categorically deny, telling that no, my teacher taught me A for apple, A for aeroplane, I don't know. So why this is happening? Because we are not going to such a situation. We are only thinking that the child should by heart or they should understand it. We are not thinking. We are thinking only child should by heart. Like rote learning should happen. So that is what, and we'll tell, see, Baba black sheep, have you any wool? But do any child understand what is the meaning of that Baba black sheep and all? So there we are lagging. I feel, I don't know whether I'm correct or not, but there we are lagging. We are not making them understand what exactly Baba black sheep is, what exactly A for apple and why aeroplane it cannot. So this we need to inculcate in the children. And in that case, this NEP can be helpful. It will be helpful.
No, who is supposed to educate them? It's like teachers us here. You are seeing the response. No response, no questions. And they are the people who are heading institutions. They are the people who are going to classrooms. Now Sweta unmuted. Let me ask you, where is London Bridge? You have learned in your nursery, right? I have never learned in nursery, LKG, UKG. I am from a small village. I am from a Malayalam medium. So I never learned luckily. But I learned when my children were studying in nursery. So that time I was 27, 28 years old. So I learned nursery rhyme when I was age 28. Where is London Bridge?
In London.
Yeah, this is what you ask. I must have asked this to most of the teachers whom I met who are teachers in nursery or even higher class. Nobody asked this question. Actually, it is not in London. You look at London Bridge DrTPS and comment there if you have seen that YouTube. It will explain you what happened to London Bridge. Because that time when the London Bridge is falling down, so that means it would have been fallen down. It cannot fell down for 100 years, right? The falling down was happening when the poetry was written by the poet. And who wrote this? Actually, students need not know. Making them to understand is what is side subs question. Did the teacher understood it carefully? Teachers don't understand. Because they are, I keep saying, the maximum number of times what is being told in a classroom of nursery, LKG, UKG is keep quiet, keep quiet. You give me 300 children. I'll make them to keep quiet without even telling them once keep quiet. How many hours you want? 6 hours I can make them to do that. I don't even tell them keep quiet. I have to be a role model. If you shout and I'm asking them to keep quiet, what am I sending the message? So I think it needs a real revamp for the teachers. That's what I'm doing. The other day also I was in one of the schools in Raichur. Last 2 months back, I was in Bangalore, one of the schools. So I don't go for half day lecture, 2 hours webinar and all. It's only a marketing program for me. Get some contact. Somebody will come out of 100. One school I go, invest my time 4-5 days, make a difference in the culture. So what exactly required in life? We must understand now the language learning, multi-language learning, because every child is by birth can learn at least 3-4 languages simultaneously without much difficulty. But we must expose them to that. If that is exposed, what will happen? See, we are lucky in India because we have got a national language, at least some TV programs comes. Sarvan Maid will be speaking some language. Parents may be multiple different languages. School also we have got multiple languages. Not very bad. But in America and all, what happens? Even at home they speak only English. Even their original language is an Indian language by birth. 2 years back I was in America with 150 children for a camp. 1 month program. In a church I was conducting this program. And I had children from 5 years to 15 years. And one of the biggest problem all the parents were telling was, I am a Tamilian but my children are not able to learn Tamil. I had people from Kashmir to Kerala, from Punjab to Assam, Pan India. This was one problem which they said. The discussion was on Sunday. I said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. I am going to call the press. I will have a whiteboard in which your children will be asked to write their name, parents' name, which state they are coming from in their mother tongue. You want your children to come in newspaper? Make them to learn. DrTPS cannot teach every 150 children their mother tongue. But those parents who are telling it's very hard, they are not learning, but in 2 days they could teach. Third day they were all ready. Yeah, I learned. 2-3 practices. Everybody was paka. So I think children are ready. They have a great brain. But what happens in classrooms is repetition, useless, unnecessary. Syllabus is too less. So many times keep repeating, thinking that repetition is what is teaching. Not required actually. So they lose concentration, they lose passion. Anything repeated, you lose passion. So what is required for children? The other day I went to Raichur, one of the school. You can see what I did with young children. I went to LKG, UKG, nursery, grade 1, grade 2 classes. I was drawing in the board and then writing something, talking to them. I think it's very simple. Learning language is not a big problem. Even if they miss 8th grade children who are from any place, they never had an intention to learn English. Give me 1 week, I will make them to have intention to learn English, passion to learn English. Next 1 month, they will learn. Learn the courage of speaking in English. I don't say, I am also not good in English. But I have the courage of speaking in English. That's what is making me to speak like this. So I'm sure children should be given the courage of speaking, courage of writing, comprehension, newspaper reading, translation. There are many methods. If a teacher is creative, your classwork can be so filled. Every day when the student goes back home, they have so much to tell their parents that no, my class was so interesting today. And every day there will be great stories too, because you have got 25 different bud minds with a lot of passion, seeing the world in different ways. See, the elders, we see even ourselves. We see even ourselves. And we see the whole world in the way the world is supposed to see the world, not the way I wanted to see. Carefully listen. The children are seeing the way they wanted to look at the world. They don't care how the world looks at them. So they are most creative people. So if I cannot give that creativity to grow. DrTPS, creativity to the power of infinity. You can listen to my TEDx lecture. I'm a creative person. I love to be creative, and that's what I'm doing. Otherwise, you will see a PowerPoint presentation of NEP and then finish my 1 hour. That's not my job. I'm creative. So the intention of making these young children are to be creative. When they are creative, everything will flow in its life. Language learning has a different method. You don't have to teach A for apple, B for bat. Not required. Nobody is alive.
I don't know. Others are not asking any questions, and
They are
you
all
can ask questions, please.
They are all bored with NEP, or maybe bored with DrTPS.
I don't think so, sir. Any questions? You can even write in chat box.
I'm seeing Sini, Rana, Rajna, Salman, Ramabhadran, Deepa. Deepa எங்கே இந்த தமிழ்நாடுல எங்கே?
தூத்துக்குடி சார்.
தூத்துக்குடி.
திருநெல்வேலி near
Tirunelveli. Wonderful. Last 1 month back I was there in Virudhunagar,
ஓகே சார்.
Madurai பக்கத்துல.
எஸ் சார்.
Then Coimbatore, Jawaharlal Nehru Engineering College. Maybe next month, 3rd or 4th, I am there in Coimbatore, one of the schools. Where are you now, Deepa?
Now I'm quite sorry.
Kuwait. Which school?
Integrated Indian schools.
I think you must type DrTPS Kuwait and see my more than 50 schools presentations, videos will be there.
Okay, sir. My principal are there, Muthumattur.
When did you join that school?
I joined 2020 October.
Yeah, I came in 18. 2018 I came. Yeah, 17 schools in Kuwait. Yeah, Salmia, all that schools I went. Murali.
Shweta, any other questions are there?
No, sir. I think that's just it.
So do one thing. Just tell them to register and for the certificate.
Yes,
Have
yes.
sent the link for the certificate.
Yes, sir.
Please send the link for the certificate and propose a vote of thanks, please.
What did you do, Sweta? Which course you did?
I just finished my post graduation
Which subject?
in business management.
Okay, MBA.
Yes.
Where?
But was in nursing mention
Where?
at the Madness.
I didn't get.
Nursing Institute of Management Studies.
Okay.
Yes.
I have an MBA with the knowledge management.
That's nice, sir.
Yeah.
I'm actually still studying, so
I taught all the papers in MBA. There is a presentation called the fractals DrTPS.
I believe.
The fractals means how do you look at bigger things in different scales. You can look at the border of India and then draw Indian border. But when you look at Kerala, you will have small wrinkles there. When you look at the state, you will see a sea coast a little different. So like a subject can be learned from farther view to lower view. You can expand your knowledge. So I was talking about data analysis, big data, supply chain management. All these subjects during those days, design thinking. But again, people like to have only HR, right? Marketing, finance. Finished.
So I'm actually studying data analytics now.
Good, wonderful. You need a good maths background.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a mathematician. My PhD is in mathematics. PhD is in mathematics, so it's not a problem for me.
It was my favorite subject in school.
Good, wonderful.
Is
Yes, sir. Good evening, Dr. TPS.
Yeah,
Good evening.
Rana Hussain.
Yes, yes, Dr. TPS.
Yeah,
I have a question.
good.
Could you tell me
Uh.
about what about Academic Bank of Credit as per NEP 2022? Please can you explain me?
See, I can write my exams and maybe discontinue from the school where I am doing, and that what I passed can be transferred into a different school. When I go there, I can use that. Now, assume you. Where are you from?
I
Rana?
am from Quest. I have been working here in integrated in school.
Originally, where are you from?
Originally, I am from Bangladesh.
Suppose you are in Bangladesh and started a bank account.
Yes.
Now, when you go to
Yes.
Kuwait, you have to start a new account. That bank is not there in this country where you are working now. So you are not able to transfer money. You have to do it physically. Otherwise, you have to have two accounts, then only you can transfer, right?
Yes, yes.
But today, while drawing money, you can use ATM of different bank in different places.
Yes, yes.
That means all banks are connected. If they want, they can also make your fund to transfer the account where you are starting. Or maybe same bank can have different counters with same number, same account, same all the proof what you have shown in Bangladesh can be operated in a counter in a bank where you are into. Suppose education becomes like that. In India we have different states. Every state education is entirely different. One school, if you have passed some subjects, when you join the other school again you will have to write the whole thing. So we have a proposal which says you can transfer your grades, marks, subject passed, open that after a few years and restart again your education. It doesn't give you a break. So that's the flexibility in education what is proposed under NEP.
Sir, I got it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. TPS.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have questions?
Sir, could you tell me that 10 plus 2 system has to be replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So that years it should be means I have a doubt for that 5 years it will be means that the child will remain at home and the parents will be like that, or it will be means after 3 years or 4 years the child will be joining the school. Can you please clarify?
No, actually school system doesn't change. It's a continuous like as today. They don't have to change the class, but after the basic up to 5 plus 3, even if they break, they can join plus 3 with a different system and scheme. Now why this change has happened? Because most of our children when they go abroad, they are finding a problem because it's not internationally accepted number standards. I had few children in America when I went, I gave a SAT program, SAT. That's an entrance examination for graduation in America. I've got few students. You look at SAT, Dr. TPS, you will see them. I am teaching in a room. I've got few students who are getting directions from me. They are so flexible. They're all the plus 4, the last plus 4 which we have in our NEP. That time itself we can start preparing for their graduation. They can decide which subject they want. Now today what happens, After 10th, 2 years only they are getting to decide whether they want to learn psychology, maths or physics. So now they get 4 years. So they will be more ready to know they are for master's graduation in this subject. One thing. Second one, this 4, you have multiple subjects and you can take, this is like a ICSE, the international syllabus which is being followed. Same way we wanted to start slowly. That's what is in plan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Said sir. It's a pleasure, at least, meeting people, talking to them. I got some few people. I know Soumya now, at least.
I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. TPS, for taking his time to conduct this webinar and enlighten us with the invaluable knowledge that he shared. I would also like to thank our panelists who went above and beyond to make this webinar a success. And I hope Dr. TPS can also, conduct one more webinar in future for us.
Thank you.
Once again, I would like to thank everyone joining here and contributing to this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you, Said sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending so much of time.
Thank you,
sir. Stay
Thank you.
blessed.
Thank you, Jane.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.